people never find the root cause of their struggles. They work on the surface level healing, like mindset shifts or energy clearing, but the deepest patterns stay hidden, quietly running their lives. And that's where our next guest comes in. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life, health, transformational coaches, and spiritual entrepreneurs being the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to help coaches and entrepreneurs amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible, leveraging podcasts and the huge audience we have over on the Gnostic TV network. Today, we are chatting with Kamina Fullwood. Kamina is a transformational leader dedicated to empowering individuals to reclaim their energy, align with their essence, and step into their highest potential. Welcome to the show, Kamina. It's great to have you here.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Okay, you ready for the big question?
All right, let's go.
Okay. What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Well, I would have to say, your energy's either working for you or against you. And so make sure it's working for you, because energy is the current that we should ride. And if we're not riding it, we're fighting against it. We're fighting against the current. We've all been in the ocean and tried to fight against the current. It doesn't work. It just slaps you around. And that's the same with your energy. If you're not rolling with it, if you're not aligned with your energy, it's going to be slapping you around and sending you in places that you don't want to go. And so that's what I help with.
That's awesome. I kind of, because probably you have the picture of the ocean in the background, and I spent many years as a lifeguard on the ocean. So I've watched the currents a lot. And I know that when you get caught in an undertow, instead of trying to fight the current, if you just let it suck you out and swim across, and then you'll get out of that energy, which is really all a riptide is it's energy moving in a direction. But instead of trying to fight against it, if you just will go with it, but diagonally, like angling out of that, you can get back to where you want to be.
Get smart about it. You don't let it control you, and you don't resist it. You get smart about it and go, this is how I need to work with it. And it's like, okay. And that's exactly the same as energy. If you align yourself with it, you're no longer resisting, and that's all those subconscious beliefs that we've got running, which is, I'm not good enough, or, the self-doubt and confusion, because every issue that we have comes down to two things, which is self-doubt and confusion, right? That's it. So they're the things that are creating all of this resistance and making this tide, forcing you to battle the tide rather than roll with it.
Do you think that sometimes people look at their thoughts that they're having, which are just really subconscious programming that we
sometimes
the things that we put in our mind that are presented to our minds as, it doesn't really come out like, let's think about this, but it's those conversations we have with people that we'll never actually have in real life that are really destructive conversations. They're not productive in any way. Or thoughts about things that happened that you can't possibly do anything about at this point. All you're doing is ruminating on it. And the power that we have to just let those thoughts go.
Well, I think there's a technique and an art form to it. It's not as simple as letting it go, because if it was simple as that, we'd all be doing it. So what we do instead is we either push it away or we play it over and over. And so if we can understand why we're doing these things and the process, which is actually not very difficult in order to detach from it, it's like, well, we're trying to understand it. Our mind is like a risk taker. It goes, okay, it plays different scenarios out to us to alert us to potential danger. It's like, hey, this could potentially happen, or so if we're going to see somebody and we know there's going to be some conflict, we might have played out 10 different or more scenarios of how that could go down. to protect ourselves. Okay, if this happens, this is how I handle it. If this happens, this is how I handle it, right? So if we recognize that that's what our mind is doing, it's trying to keep us safe, we no longer resist it, and we can say, thank you, mind, for keeping me safe. I give you permission to rest now. And it's like, oh, okay, you're telling it doesn't need to keep doing that. I've got this. You're taking back the power. Or say, for example, if a scenario happened where we did a really dumb thing, or somebody hurt us or harmed us in some way, we play that over and over. Well, we haven't gotten a lesson from it. What do we need to know and learn from it? I don't need to understand why the other person did what they did, because people only do dumb things out of two reasons: self-doubt and confusion. That's it. So if we can take things back down to simplicity and really simplify things and see them as they really are, and then we can get radically honest with ourselves, and then we can see the truth and not be plagued by all this playing things over and over, and it makes life so much easier.
Yes, really. So tell me about energetic recalibration. What does that mean, and how do you use it to help people?
Well, it's tapping into the energy, tapping into the flow of energy and making sure it's aligned. So I recalibrate the entire energy field so it's aligned. So I look at 3 different areas, or 4 different areas, which is the stories that we play. So they're from past life or universal stories that we are playing out, and that we've been playing out for lifetime after lifetime, and that control our thoughts, control our subconscious, and the choices that we make. Then we've also got the ancestral stuff that's been, like if you look at the history of the world, it's pretty gruesome. And so that's been passed down and passed down and passed down to where we are today. And it's still controlling. Maybe the world isn't so, violent in a physical sense as it used to be. It doesn't mean that stuff still isn't playing out. I mean, it's a pretty chaotic world. And then you've also got interference sitting in the field, which is all those psychic attacks of people, all kinds of, those distortions in the field. And so I look at every single one of those and remove all of the things that are going on that is creating issues for that person. So it totally recalibrates the energetic field and brings you back into more alignment with who you really are, and more aligned with your whole self.
So you have a name for this?
Well, I use the Soul Flow method. And if you go to my website, bodyflowenergetics.org, there's the Soul Flow method, which I teach to people, and you can do it through a group process or a one-on-one process. I'll teach you through it, and I'll take you through a full recalibration. It's a 6-month process, and you can learn everything I do. And I get incredible results. I mean, with one session with people, I'm getting more and more that like I had this New Zealand couple, and it was about 2 or 3 months ago, and they had been together for 30 years, and almost every single day of that 30 years they were fighting. And these aren't just your regular everyday kind of fights. These are full on battles. And I don't know how they stayed together for 30 years, but it was pretty impressive, I thought. And I gave them both 1 session each. And after that, they just didn't have the desire to fight. They didn't do anything. They just woke up and they were just like, I just don't want to fight anymore. And they haven't had a fight since. So that's the kind of results I get with people. And it's like, pretty amazing stuff. And that's what I teach people to do. And I take them through a recalibration so they can understand how energy works on every aspect. And it's actually kind of simple and fun.
That sounds really cool. Does it work with, your example was for somebody that was having problems in a relationship, but does it also work in the health realm in terms of like addictions that people have?
Yeah. I've had a number of people recently. Someone had a gambling addiction, a marijuana addiction, and I gave them both one session each, and they were gone. I actually originally started out specializing in chronic health issues. So
Mhm.
I kind of delved into the deep end from the get-go. And so by doing that, I really understood, how it all works. Because you've got to like sink or swim in those kind of situations. And so it's like I've worked with pretty much every illness or disease there is. I'm sure there are some I haven't, but I'm pretty close to working with all of them, I think.
Were you in the medical profession, or was this just like?
No, I studied kinesiology, and so
Mhm.
that's very That's very you have to learn physiology and how the body
Mhm.
works and all of that as part of that course.
Interesting,
A long
interesting.
time
So,
ago. So over the years, it's like a doctor. You just enhance your skills, and the more you work with different kind of things going on, the more you learn.
so you really do actually address physical things as well as emotional and spiritual attacks that people are undergoing, or help. Not that you do it, but you teach them how to do it for themselves, which is so much more
I take
empowering.
them through the process so they heal themselves, and then in that process, they can also learn how to do it. And they could be a practitioner if they so choose to,
Mhm.
because I'm giving them all the skills to do that. But really, I just want to help people to help themselves. Because if you can come to me and I can help you, absolutely. But it's so much more empowering if you can do it yourself. And then you can help your family and friends, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
Yeah, yeah. And so, is it like the laying on of hands more, or is it more actual things that you do when you like practices?
Well, it's so I take people so first of all, I help people understand things on a theory level,
Mhm.
and then I get them to do practices so they experientially understand it. They get it. They fully get it. So we play around with energy a lot. There's a lot of just playing with energy, and it's all really quick, easy stuff because I'm all about bite-sized changes. If it takes longer than 5 or 10 minutes, I'm just not going to do it. And I know most people are the same, right? We
Nobody
just
is.
like, I have the intention to, but I probably won't get there. And so we just have this play around. So then you're feeling and you're really getting how it works. And then help people to unlock their intuition so they can see, hear, feel, know, all of those things. And really, there is certain ways to really tap into your intuition really powerfully that many people are teaching, which I just find really strange. Um, and and then I take people to understand things in, understanding abundance and relationships and communication and the elements like and understand and balancing the masculine and feminine. And so by taking them through the process and getting them to do it, so then if you felt it and understood it within yourself, then you can do it on other people if that's what you want. So these are really advanced level healing techniques that are really simple. And I work with people all over the world, so I don't have to have the person in front of me. Um, and it's actually surprisingly simple. I've really fine-tuned it over a decade that I've been doing this, and it's honestly, I show people how to do things, and they're like, "Really? I like that." They get it because they can experience what I'm saying. They're like, "That's all you do." So,
Do you do you incorporate any qigong into what you're doing?
any what? Sorry,
Qigong into what you're doing?
qigong.
Qigong, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something else. Um, well, I think, Qigong is really powerful and amazing. I do, as part of Soul Flow, there are some Qigong methods that I teach. It's, um, I just really love the if you feel into your hand and you can just feel the fatness of your fingers, just like and that's your chi. Just those kind of techniques are pretty cool. And qigong just really they get energy.
I've experienced a little bit of it, and which is why I pronounce it wrong, because I've only seen it on the internet and written. I haven't
uh,
really heard it talked about. So, with Qigong, I it's almost unbelievable that you can feel energy, but you can. And just the simple process of gathering it together and then pulling it to you, there's a physical experience that you experience when you do stuff like that. I mean, it's not like this is airy fairy stuff. This
you're
is
definitely feeling
actual
it. You're like, oh
practical.
wow, it's surprising.
Yeah, that's what the point I'm trying to make is that for my listeners that this is not like some fanciful thing that we're talking about here. This is like real. You feel the
There's lots of different ways to do it. If you just like, you know, feel into your
Mhm,
hands and you can just feel the energy as you move your hands in and out. You can feel the
mhm,
energy moving in and out. Like that's just a really quick, simple way. Or if you place your hand on your head, you can feel the energy move to your head. If you place your hand on your heart, feel the energy move to your heart. So if you're overthinking, just put your hand on your heart to get your energy out of your head. So there's really simple ways of understanding energy and experiencing it and go, because if you do that, like you can really feel that. And
mhm,
then when you are doing that overthinking thing and you do put your hand on your heart or anywhere on your body just to get your energy out of your head, you
mhm.
stop thinking and it's like, wow, this stuff really works.
I, and again, super simple processes. I have a story with my dad. He practices Tai Chi a lot. Um, and he had problems with his neck. Like he couldn't turn his head. And he had this guy who was a Tai Chi instructor or practitioner come to we call it the compound, but he lives in this community um, in Arizona. And so the guy comes, and my dad's thinking that it's going to be this wizened old Chinese guy, and this young Hispanic man shows up. And he never touches my dad, but he moves the energy around on his body. And my dad said his neck has never felt so good. I mean, he can turn it, never touched him ever. But just that's the power of energy work.
Pretty cool, hey?
That's really cool.
And
I
it's
was really
really
proud of him
fun.
actually because he's old.
Oh, that it's cute, isn't it?
It's
But
just so
it's
cute.
really fun. Like I love working with people who have never had an energetic health session done before, and
Mhm.
because they get blown away, they're like, I really felt that, and they like, especially structural stuff is really fun to work with because people structurally feel the pain, and by the end of the session, they don't feel it.
Mhm.
And they're like, how is that possible? What did you do? It's really cool because this is all real and they experience it and they're like, wow, how have I never discovered this before? Why did I think this wasn't real when what I just experienced? I can't deny that it's real.
Yeah. And I think this is the direction that medicine is headed in overall because it's way more powerful than the way that it's practiced normally around here anyway. Not that there isn't a place for allopathic medicine because I do truly believe, if you get in a car accident, you want somebody that's going to just put all the pieces back together the way they're supposed to go. But for a lot of the things that we
It
experience,
definitely serves a purpose. And there are some beautiful people in the medical industry
Mhm.
who just have such a beautiful heart. So absolutely in support of it. But for the long-term stuff, that's that's where we can make the biggest difference.
Mhm.
And that minimizes, a lot of the people going to hospital. So
Yeah. Could
Saves a
save the
lot of money.
space for people that really need to go to the hospital for something versus just having those. I'm not even going to say minor because chronic pain it's debilitating for a lot of people.
Oh, it
But
is.
to be able
It
to
is.
experience a way to get around it just by moving the energy in your body because it's stuck, or sometimes emotional things that show up in your body is just energy stuck someplace. And your experience with fighting, a lot of times that's just energy that's stuck somewhere and you just get in this pattern and you don't know how to unstick it and have a different pattern.
Well, we're sending out our energy 24/7. That's our frequency that we're sending out, and people are picking up what we're sending out.
Mhm.
Our words might say something different, but they're picking up on our energy and they're responding to that. So that might be creating conflict. Like I had a client come to me saying, "Oh, I need to get rid of my anger." And I went, "Okay." And she said, "Oh," and then, a little bit, a few minutes down the track, she was talking about things. She goes, "Oh, have had a few people say to me lately, stop speaking with so much anger." And she said, "I'm not. I'm saying things nicely." And I said, "But you came to me to help you, work on your anger. While you might not be saying it, energetically, you're putting that out there." And she's like, "Oh, right. Yeah." It was like within minutes, I want to get rid of my anger, but people are seeing me as angry and I don't think I'm angry. It was like, it's the confusion of that is baffling for people. They know they're angry, but they don't realize that the energy that they're putting out is exactly how they're feeling. It's not what you're saying. And that has a massive impact on how people respond. And so if we don't sort those things out, we're going to sit here confused and wonder why the world's attacking us.
Yeah. You reminded me of something my husband said to me today. He was listening in on a conversation that I was having with a group of people, and I was impatient. And I just wanted them to like understand what I had to tell them because I really needed to get off the phone. And he said, I can always tell when you're talking to people that don't get what you're saying because you have a different tonality and you talk to them differently. It's more like I'm talking to children and just expect you to do what I'm telling you to do because I don't have time to explain why this is going to work. But then I had to have a little conversation with myself about, that's not my place. And if I have to go, then they're going to figure it out on their own. And if they don't, then they can wait till I come back. It's not up to me to solve all the problems in the world.
No, it's not. We all give it a good shot, though, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Tell me your problems. I can solve it for you.
I don't have time, but I'll give it a shot in 20 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. If you'll just do it my way.
Yeah. Doesn't work that way, does it?
Yeah, it doesn't. But just working with energy, again, it's being in the flow of energy and recognizing when the current's not going in the direction that you wish it to be going in. You don't have to push directly against it. There are things that you can do to allow it to allow you to swim diagonally and get out of that energy.
Absolutely. Well, it's change can't be forced. If anyone has ever tried to force you to do something, you might end up doing it, but it's going to take you longer because you just go, "I'm not doing it now. You're trying to force me to. I'm just not going to do it." Right? And that's ingrained in all of us. Most people have that resistance, and unless they're a super people pleaser. So you can't force change. It's got to be written, and it's allow yourself to go with that current, and then you become more aligned. Because it's like if you're sick, your brain isn't talking to your body properly, right? So how do I get my brain to talk to my body? Well, if there's blocked energy in your brain, well, I need to clear those blocks so then it becomes more aligned. so it's like, okay, well, what do I need to do to clear those blocks? It's like, then I can go, okay, well, what beliefs or programs, what subconscious thinking have I got running that's affecting my choices and decisions? So it's like, so we can just clear out those blocks. It's actually kind of simple.
If you know what you're doing. As
But
with
that's
most things in
it's
life.
simple and anyone can do it, but very few people know how to do it properly. And it's like we've all had those stories where we play out the same thing over and over. We had a stress and trauma happen here, and then we've had a similar one happen. So we ended up creating this big mountain, right? And then people go at it with a little pickaxe. I don't want to do this anymore. And they're going at it with a pickaxe on a mountain, and they're wondering why they're not getting very far. So people are trying, but there are ways to do it properly, and that's what I help with. And because I'm, been there with a little pickaxe myself, and I'm like going around in circles, going, why aren't I going anywhere? It's really frustrating.
Bring in the bulldozer.
Yeah. Oh, so you just pull the card at the bottom. It's like a house of cards. If you just pull that bottom one, the whole thing collapses. It's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Oh, how do I do that?
So you have virtual workshops that you provide for people?
Well, what I do is I have a program, the Soul Flow Self-Mastery program. And you can do the group program or the one-on-one program. So it includes group workshops and the tools and practices to experientially understand it all and learn it all, and as well as some videos in how to get the theory behind things, and they're pretty short too, but just really, just the simplistic necessary stuff. And then you can do the one-on-one path where you get everything in the group path, but you get one-on-one sessions with me every 2 weeks. So you can choose your own adventure.
I like that. I like that a lot. And you offer a collection of free transformational resources, from energy recalibration tools to guided meditations and mindset shifts. These are designed to create real results, no fluff, no overwhelm, just bite-sized but powerful practices to help you reset, realign, and remember who you really are.
That's exactly right. And they're all on my website.
And you want to tell people where to find them on your website?
So if you go to bodyflowenergetics.org, you can find them there. And then the free gifts is if you do bodyflowenergetics.org/free-gifts, you can find them there, or it's under the resources menu item.
Awesome. So thank you so much for joining us today, Camina. It's been great chatting with you about this.
It's been great chatting with you.
To learn more about Camina and take advantage of her free transformational resources, please visit bodyflowenergetics.org, and we'll be sure to put that link in the notes. Thank you for tuning in with us today. If you have a podcast or you're interested in starting one to get your message in front of our huge and active audience, be sure to reach out to us at jill@gnostictv.com. We love to help spiritual entrepreneurs and coaches amplify their voice and monetize their mission, and offer a variety of ways to do this on the Gnostic TV Network platform. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today and get